What's going on, Starcraft 2 fans? This is Lasercorn with Mahalo Video Games, and it is that time again. Time for another Lasercorn challenge. That's right, this is where I take on one opponent in a one-on-one matchup. Looks like we're on Lost Temple here this time, and is that where we are? Yes, and if they beat me, my opponent gets a $50 gift card to GameStop. Whereas if I win, I get nothing. Nothing but the delicious Subway sandwich that I pay for with my own money after the game to celebrate my victory. That's about it. I usually go with the meatball marinara. So this time around, my opponent is Protoss, which is pretty standard. Seems every time someone challenges me, they are a Protoss player. I don't understand why. I guess Protoss are cool and all. I never really understood the appeal of playing them. During Brood War I played Zerg, and in Starcraft 2 I've been loving the Terran. Just so many options to harass with and stuff like that. I normally open up, if you've been watching the other Lasercorn challenges, with a Banshee harass. But I've decided not to do that this time just because I'm starting to suspect that if anyone wanted to, they could go on and see that all I do against Protoss is open with Banshee harasses, and they would see that coming, build some observers, and stop that dead in its tracks. So I've decided to play a little different this time around, and you'll see how that strategy pans out for me. I think the last time that I decided not to go Banshee harass, I got horribly destroyed during I tried some sort of weird bunker contain, and that didn't really work for me. So we'll see how this one goes. My opponent, I did check his stats afterwards. I didn't know going into the game. I never check going in, but I do check afterwards, and he is a Bronze Leaguer. So that doesn't always mean that they're... Oh, he needs to pause. I'm going to speed through the pause. Oh, it looks like it looks like the replay took care of that automatically. Anyway, he is a Bronze Leaguer. That doesn't always mean they're bad. Sometimes that just means you're trying a new race, or you know, you haven't played in a little while, or something. Although he does have way too many probes on this Vespian. Guys, just a quick tip: you only need 3 probes on each Vespian, and you do really want to get 2 of those up at this stage in the game, I think, if you're Protoss. I don't know, some players I guess might not. And you see me calling down an orbital supply drop there. That's because I supply blocked myself. You don't want to do that either. So you can see this is not a pro level game like I normally cast. It's me against some dude, and we're supply capping ourselves and putting too many probes on the extractor. So learn from our mistakes, kids. You players that are new to StarCraft, you want to make sure you're building enough supply depots, and also that you only have 3 guys on each Vespian, 3 miners. I'm opening 1-1-1, as I always do with Terran. I don't do the double barracks open or anything like that. That's very popular. If you watch the GSL, Marine King will often open double barracks, and to great effect. He's actually possibly the best StarCraft player there is right now, just because he won the GSL, which a lot of times is the barometer for, you know, how good you are, whether or not you're the best StarCraft 2 player or not. So yeah, double barracks opening. I really should pick one of those up and start playing a little more infantry heavy builds. Also, I should send my SCVs back to go mining after they're done building a building. Lazy SCVs. They should just do that automatically. They should say, hey, I'm not doing anything right now. Maybe I should go back and get to mining. But they don't. And guys, you can, after you build a building, you can shift-click back to the minerals, and your SCV will go back and automatically start mining minerals. I should be doing that every time. I need to get my discipline down, start doing that. But this is fun because we get to learn from mistakes. And it looks like we got some cannons going up here. You don't often see that. Most Protoss players disregard the cannons in favor of more units. And actually, And actually, if I had opened double barracks, I could have, and had scouted properly, I could have rolled over this very easily with a bunch of infantry. Probably stim marauders would probably clean that up very nicely, especially considering he isn't macroing extremely effectively. Looks like he's stopped producing probes at this point, whereas I am still producing SCVs, and I'm looking to expand. So my macro game a little bit ahead of his. Oh, and I have set up siege tanks on this ledge. That's right. Now I remember what my plan was. This ledge right here, great for siege tanks, great for preventing expansion. So what I did was I dropped a siege tank up here, and just gonna set up shop. You can see the range right there, definitely far enough to hit any expansion that might get set up. And I've got this this medvac I can use to scout and extend. The siege tank can actually shoot farther than it can see, so I can extend my range by scouting with that. And so this is a fairly standard strategy. I mean, you don't see it a lot at pro level, but it's a good Terran strategy. This ledge offers me some protection from the ground forces who can't see up here unless he has an observer, and I can just kind of scout here and contain him. And because this is a contain strategy I'm using instead of my normal Banshee harass, it's not going to be quite as exciting. So I'm going to speed things up here just because I am just containing him, making sure he doesn't expand, making sure my expansion gets going, and making sure I macro ahead of my opponent. That's basically my strategy right now. You can see he's brought in a Void Ray right there to destroy my siege tank, so that's a good strategy, good counter. He decides to fall back against my 4 Marines who should have been watching my siege tank so I didn't get destroyed earlier. I'm going to try and reset that contain. I think, well, I guess I brought in an SCV first to build me some towers, some missile turrets, so that I can ward away any more Void Rays that come in. And I have brought 2 more siege tanks to reset the contain. So speed up through this, and we're still stopping him from expanding. My other strategy here is to scout out with this dropship, check out all the locations of other bases he might try to sneaky expand to, since I've cut off his main point of expansion here. You can see I have waypoints set up there to make sure he's not sneaking out the window and you know, doing stuff he shouldn't be doing. Just keeping him contained, keeping him close to that base. I've got this ridge pretty heavily secured. I'm expanding over here, taking my gold, you know, just playing a nice safe game as opposed to my normal Banshee harass and sending in factories to build Hellions and whatnot. If you've seen the other Lasercorn challenges, you know I play usually a little wackier, but I wanted to surprise my opponent this time, catch him off guard by playing a nice safe game using siege tanks, like a normal Terran player, I guess. And I've got some Vikings out. I know he has Void Rays. Vikings always a good counter for that. Should be able to take him down. Vikings, of course, do extra damage to armored units. 14 versus armored. And these guys are these guys light or armored? Man, I think they're armored, but I could be wrong. Post it in comments. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe they aren't armored. Yeah, these might be light units. But anyway, either way, the Vikings take care of them pretty well. It's a pretty good deal. I am turning this into a... oh, okay, I see where it says that. They are armored, yes. The Void Rays are armored. It says right down here. So don't post it in comments. They're armored units, as I suspected. Also, you can see I'm not doing a very good job of spending my money. It's up over 1,300. So not a great job there. You really want to keep it below 400 because money in the bank isn't helping you win the game. Very basic strategy. Any Starcraft 2 player will tell you that, you know, money in the bank is useless. He's actually doing a good job keeping his money down, but he doesn't have a whole ton of money. Oh, look at this. He's building a mothership. How quaint. I'm kidding. The mothership is actually a great unit, very powerful. Not at all quaint. Very scary unit. You just don't see them very often, so it's kind of a strange maneuver, but it'll allow him to cloak his units and come after me in that fashion. I'm going to speed things up so we get to the action, the confrontation. I am setting up more defenses outside here. I like when you're playing Terran, a good strategy is to try to make your opponent attack into your defenses, because they have very strong static defenses, the Terran, with the bunkers and siege tanks. A lot of not very mobile, but very good defensive strategies available for the Terran. And you can see I'm using my Vikings to extend my vision range and shoot at these. If we look at just my vision, the Vikings are what's allowing me to see up this cliff and shoot at those cannons. But here's the mothership, so I'm going to have to deal with cloaked units now. And you can see my Vikings can't see those void rays that are attacking me. I can, however, see the mothership. And it's not super heavily armored and shielded like you might expect from such a big unit. The mothership actually goes down pretty quickly. And now I'm landing my Vikings because I realize I might not have enough ground forces to deal with all these zealots and things that are rushing into my units and attacking me. But my units stand strong against the deadly Protoss invasion. And from here, his main army has been defeated. And it looks like it's just cleanup from here. If I remember correctly, my units will come in, clean all this up, and head into the base eventually. A little slow, but yeah, he makes a carrier, I shoot it down, and yeah, from here on out is no bueno for my opponent. And that's going to be pretty much GG. And he says, I tried my hardest, GG. And yeah, just a fairly standard game. I think this brings me to 4-2. So yeah, go ahead and challenge me if you're like, hey, you need tougher opponents, Lasercorn, that can take your money. Well, I need you to send me emails to lasercorn@mahalo.com. That's Lasercorn with an S, not a Z. And you can challenge me and maybe get that free, easy $50. So yeah, I'll see you on BattleNet.